Hey, what's going on, guys? Agamaroth here, back again with another hero guide for you today. Today, we will be going over Medusa. She is an excellent S-class hero in the Dark faction. She will carry you right through until the late game. In the late game, she does, however, fall off a wee bit. She's still an excellent hero, however. She is very easily farmable, as you can buy her cards in the arena store, and in the first week of the game you'll get a copy of her free as long as you're active and finish all the missions. In general, she's excellent in PvP and PvE. She does kind of okay against bosses, but there are better options out there. Now, just going into her, looking at her guide very quickly, you can see that she's a control hero, damage hero. Looking at her recommended artifacts, they've got Bell of Chaos and Divine Prayer. Now, Bell of Chaos costs $500. I don't recommend that for most players. If you can afford it, go for it. It's probably the best thing you can put on Medusa. There's probably better heroes for it, but it's definitely the best artifact for Medusa. Original Time is also an excellent choice. For basic one, you could look at Primal Power, but I would prefer to put Braveheart, and we'll go over the reasons why very shortly. Alright, so next up, I just want to quickly go over what talents I think are good on Medusa, and which ones you should consider. So, first up, Legendary Talents. I currently have Precise Strike activated. You can go with Precise Strike or Shadow Ambush depending on the team that you're up against. Super Shield is an option for a catch-all sort of thing. Give her a little bit of survivability at the start of the battle when there's a lot of ultimates going on. Mythic Talents, I currently use Weakness Aimer. I did have it on Titan Killer. I mean, both are good, but I think Weakness Aimer is just a little bit better in general. Now moving on to Mythic 1 talents, Penetrative Strike. I use this on Medusa because she has a good chance of hitting back row targets with her ultimate. It just helps her get more output. Ghost Curse and Concentration here for Mythic 3 talents. If you've got a lot of Ghost Curse users already, you probably don't need it. You can just go with Concentration. Concentration helps her stop getting locked down. Probably a better all-round talent, but you do need a couple of Ghost Curse users on your team to just boost your team's damage. Mythic 4 talents, Shield Breaker is the catch-all here, however Strong Conqueror is another good option if you're going up against Superman heavy lineup. And Mythic 5 talent, you just want Soul Devourer, don't even look at the other ones. I mean, you can look at Gaze of Death, kind of, but like you want to be petrifying people as often as possible if you've got Medusa on your team. Moving along now, going to move in and show you her base stats at max level with nothing else. This is just Mythic 5 Medusa, base stats, max level. This is how I sort of work out where heroes sort of sit and what they're good for. Alright, so you can see here that she has 2.37 million base HP, 112,000 base attack, and 3,700 base armor. Alright, so she has an incredibly high base attack, especially for an S-class hero that hits lots of enemies. For reference, Pierre has the highest base attack in the game at 147,000. So and she's only around about 14,000 below Galaxy off the top of my head. So yeah, it's pretty damn good. Anyway, moving into her skills. Her first skill, Paralysis Bite. Medusa hits 4 enemies for 180% attack damage, and they are poisoned for 8% of Medusa's max HP. And that goes up to 260% attack and 15% max HP at level 3. Her second skill, Medusa's attacks and skills, it doesn't say this in the description, have a 15% chance to petrify for 2 rounds, and that goes up to 25% at level 3. Skill 3, Menace from Queen. Basic attacks deal 4% of Medusa's max HP, plus 70% of her attack to 2 random enemies in the front row, and that goes up to 8% max HP and 130% attack at level 3. Skill number 4, Dignity of Queen, inflicts additional damage to poison targets by 80% at level 1, and then up to 120% at level 3. Okay, so what this means is that probably most people are building Medusa wrong. Alright, she's got a very high base attack on her own. You probably want to increase her HP so she ends up being a wee bit bulkier. We'll go over that a bit more in the future, but right now we're just having a look at the exclusive. So her exclusive artifact at level 1 increases her petrified chance by 2%, so instead of 25%, 27%, and at level 10 increases that by 5%, so it's up to 30%, at level 20 by 10%, up to 35%, which is, you're petrifying at least one target every time she lets go of a skill. It's not great, but it is useful. It is incredibly useful throughout the game, and she can petrify many targets at once. Alright, so next up we're actually going to have a look at the Stigmatas. So I haven't done this in my previous videos, because Stigmatas are fairly new, but I'm working on a Stigmata video, and I'm fairly confident that I've kind of got an understanding of how this all works now. So my recommended set for Medusa is Domination 4 out of 4, and Evolution 2 out of 2. So that covers everywhere in the game. Now the reason I go for Domination over something like Apocalypse, which is also incredibly viable, you could use Apocalypse instead of Domination, but the reason I go for Domination here is because Medusa's basic attacks hit 2 enemies already. So you're getting double the effect of Domination, and this goes for other heroes that have multi-hit basic attacks. So you're getting more bang for your buck on the Domination, and Evolution is to increase that maximum HP. Alright, the reason why you want to increase the maximum HP is because normally Medusa's pretty easy target to kill, but if you bulk her up and make her a wee bit tankier, that also increases her damage. Increases her poison damage, increases her tankiness, and increases her basic attack damage, which you are increasing even further with your Stigmatas. Don't get me wrong, boosting her attack is also an excellent idea, especially since percentage increases are so effective, since she has a very high base attack already. But yeah. Alright, so moving on, this is a quick battle to, very quick battle to showcase her in action. And as you can see, she doesn't really petrify heaps of them, but it does do a lot of damage, and she just absolutely wipes the floor, and that poison is outputting a lot of damage. Alright, so you can see she is a heavy hitter with a little bit of control. Now she can fit onto most teams. She's an excellent early game choice and quite easy to farm. Alright, so going back to my artifacts, the reason I want to recommend to you Original Time or Braveheart out of the crystals is because they both have an HP increase. Braveheart actually might be the better choice, but I'm using it on my Blaze Centaur right now, but looking at Medusa in isolation. So Braveheart increases your HP and your attack, and it gives her a little bit of sustain, keeps her in the field, and all round excellent. Original Time helps her cast her ultimate more often and increases her HP. Divine Prayer, now I haven't gone into this yet, Divine Prayer gives her a lot more sustainability, and it increases her HP and her damage immunity, so you've got an incredibly bulky Medusa outputting a lot of status, a lot of damage, so she ends up being a mildly tanky damage dealer that's very consistent. Bell of Chaos, if you can afford it, turns her into even more of a stun character, like more like a Zeus or someone. So yeah, if you wanted to go down that road, you could. I wouldn't recommend it, since you might as well just put your Bell of Chaos on Zeus, since he's essentially Medusa, but better in every way. But yeah, anyway, so the last thing I do want to go over pros and cons for everyone real quick and just let you know what I think. So she is very useful in most modes. Maybe not so much against single target bosses. That's probably her biggest downfall throughout most of the game. She has excellent base stats, so you're never going to go wrong building her. She's very easy to obtain, so new players, free-to-play players, very easy to build this hero. Her Petrify, so she can lock down enemy teams with decent consistency. Not as much as other heroes, but it's still gonna help. Every little bit helps. She has incredibly consistent damage. Like, she's not gonna some rounds do less damage or whatever. Yep. And she's got multiple different ways to build her. You can build her and maximize that attack, make her ultimate just explode in people's faces, or you can build her up for health and have her just be a hugely annoying, hard to get rid of pest that chips away at entire teams, which I think in the later game might give her a new lease on life. I have yet to test that out, but I'm very excited to do so in the near future. Now her cons, her biggest con, and you can't overlook it, I've already kind of mentioned it, she's outclassed in every single aspect by Zeus. Like, why have Medusa on your team when you can have Zeus? Most people will be building him with their medals. And yeah, like, in general, it's a real shame because she's a cool character, but Zeus is just her, but better. And again, something else I've already kind of mentioned is, like, later on in the game, she does fall off. This might or might not be a con, depending on that sort of HP build that I was talking about, but yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys found this video useful, and if you did, drop us a like, leave us a comment, share it around, let your buddies know, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers, guys.